What's going on, guys? Today we're going to look at PCE. It just dropped today, and I also want to give you an update on CleanSpark's chart and Iris Energy. That's right, today we just received an important piece of inflationary data. We're going to look at that. We do have an upcoming FOMC meeting to look out for and be aware of. Now, if you guys like these videos, make sure you hit the like, subscribe, ring the notification bell. It definitely helps me out a lot. Consider checking out the links down below for some free, that's right, free stocks and cryptos. It helps me out as well. And let's get started on this video. First off, a PCE, and here's a year-over-year chart. Now, the data we just received was a 3% read, and the forecast was 3%, so it came right in line. Now, what's really important here is we did see a month-over-month decline, and we did have a 3% read back in the late summer, so we have seen this level before, but I do think our next PCE read will put us under 3%, and the downward trend will continue. But yeah, next PCE read, it's going to be really important to see us come in under 3% in my opinion, to show that the trend is continuing down. And if we see this spike up again, there would be a little bit of fear. Now, looking at PCE excluding food and energy, we have a 0.2% rise for the month and a 3.5 year-over-year rise. But these numbers did align with consensus, and they were actually down from readings in the previous month of 0.3% and 3.7%. So even excluding food and energy, we are getting better numbers than the previous month, which is important. And the next FOMC meeting is going to be from the 12th to the 13th. They'll make their decision on the 13th. And we do have some more data coming before that. CPI will be releasing on December 12th, the first day of the FOMC meeting. And I'm sure they'll already have the data before then. But this really sets the tone for the market and what to expect for the Fed. If we see CPI continuing down, it'll probably breathe a sigh of relief for the market. But what I expect in the coming FOMC meeting is a continued pause. But what's going to be really important is the wording they use. Do they mention the words rate cuts? Do they talk about potentially raising rates in the future? These are all going to be things that you'll have to listen to on the FOMC meeting and really get the general tone of the meeting. I do believe if we continue getting this data coming down, getting under 3% inflation, if we can continue seeing PCE, CPI, PPI trending down like it has been, I do think this sets us up for rate cuts in the future, still months away, however. Now, I do want to talk about CleanSpark. We, of course, have earnings coming out today after the bell, and we are starting to witness a little pullback coming up to earnings. We are overbought on the RSI, and we had a really nice breakout, a really nice run out of this long-term descending resistance. But last time we saw a continuation like this, just nothing but green candles, we did see a pretty drastic sell-off. I don't think the sell-off here will be as drastic unless earnings really disappoints, but I am anticipating a pull into the higher fives. I think that's very possible, very likely. And another thing we're about to witness is a golden cross. With this recent spike, because these are lagging indicators, we will probably see a golden cross in the next couple of days. That could bring a lot of strength when we come down to test supports. And of course, depending on what earnings gives us, depending on their forward guidance, things like that, it's going to be very, very important to listen to earnings tonight. And if things sound good, we will probably find closer supports to where we are now. If things come out bad, we will probably test lower levels, possibly break $5. However, at this point, any pullback to me is a great buying opportunity, and I remain very bullish on CleanSpark even at these prices. Just keep in mind on the RSI, it is a little overbought, and I do anticipate a little pullback, but it doesn't have to pull back. We also have the mining update coming up, and I do expect good things there. There's been a lot of progress at Sandersville, and they're going to give us a more detailed update there too. And I did want to show you guys Iris Energy, very similar to CleanSpark, overbought on the RSI, recently was pumping, just like all miners, and it does look like we're finding resistance here on this long ascending trend line here that we broke to the downside, and now we're coming back up to test it. Similar to CleanSpark, I wouldn't be surprised to see Iris Energy pull back. But keep in mind, if Bitcoin does pop, does head towards 40,000, finally breaks out of the 38 area, all bets here could be off, and these stocks can become more and more overbought. They do have room. However, there is a lot of risk being a buyer here on the short term. One thing that's good here for Iris Energy is we are starting to see that moving averages curling upwards, however, they are still bearish. We recently had a death cross towards the end of October, and we are witnessing the EMAs moving up as well, still in a bearish order. However, they are curling up, and we could start seeing them cross. So I do expect a pullback for both CleanSpark and Iris Energy. However, I do think it will be pretty quickly caught up with buyers, and we will likely jump off of these EMAs and bounce back up. In my opinion, now is not the time to be a seller if you're looking long term. I do think there's a lot more gains to be had, but on the short term, these are a little bit overbought. So if you're massively up in profits, it's not a bad idea to trim some off the table and be ready for a new entry point. But thanks for watching, guys. Let me know what you think about the inflation data that we received, PCE, and also how are you feeling about CleanSpark and Iris Energy on the chart. Are you buying here? Are you selling here? Or are you continuing to hold? Thanks as always for watching, guys, and I'll catch you soon.